Auswiz, one and all. Problems are just solutions that haven't been found yet. Auswiz, one and all. Problems are just solutions that haven't been found yet. Please welcome Chris Daly.
Problems are just solutions that haven't been found yet. My name is Chris, I'm a Toastmaster, and I'm here to help. What is the problem with Australia? I mean, we don't have enough workers to work in the industries and the mines to fund the baby boomers' retirement rock and roll homes, do we? Big problem. And our inspiring leaders are out in budgie shorts and dancing the shuffle to promote Big Brother. I mean, who are our children going to be inspired by nowadays? Who are the innovators in Australia? And our sports teams. Some of my best lines just went today with the gold medals for Australia. What a shame. But what about the boats as well? The boats are on our shores. We can't protect our own country. Competition Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, I have the solution. Watch. North Island, South Island, West Island, Greater New Zealand. What could be better? I can see some of the mathematically minded people amongst the audience thinking, well look, an extra 3-4 million people, what difference would that make? And also the Kiwis here probably sort of saying, well look, we'll lose our say in the country, 4 million against 24. But we have a solution. You probably don't know this, especially if you're flying over from Auckland, but John Keys, the Prime Minister of New Zealand, today put a bill before Parliament giving our beloved sheep the vote as well. So an extra 60 million people, and what a difference that would make. Now some of the solutions, like in New Zealand, any young girls here, women, Kate Shepherd, have you heard that name? Kate Shepherd was the woman that gave women the national vote, the first country in the world to do so, in 1893. What an inspiring example for young women to look up to. And great innovators. I want to ask you a question. Who was the first person to fly a motorised aircraft?
Wright brothers.
Right? Wrong. It was Richard Pearce. And Richard Pearce was a farmer down the south of New Zealand, a mad inventor, really. And he drove his plane down the dirt road, took off, and flew for 50 yards. And he landed in a Magna Carta hedge, about 5 metres above the ground. And that was way back in 1903, before the Wright brothers, by about 9 months. There's a big snow the next day, so what happened is the plane stayed up there all winter. That's one of the longest flights in history, isn't it? Pretty good. No, I won't go there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we also have another very, very famous person, Sir Edmund Hillary. Any of you who have seen that photo on the internet at the moment, of the top of Hillary's head as he does his last step on top of Everest, is a fraud. I wouldn't believe that. I actually used to know Edmund Hillary's daughter, and I knew some of the background information about that trip up Everest. Tenzing and Hillary were climbing up the mountain. They were both getting very tired, but Tenzing was way, way ahead. Hillary didn't like this because he was just the porter, you see. So he yanked on the rope and Tenzing came rolling down to Hillary and said, "Hey, what do you do that for?" And Hillary said, "Look, mate, you're just the porter. And I didn't like your altitude." Yeah, seriously, I don't know who got to the top of Everest first, but they were two great men, weren't they? And one of them was a Kiwi. He would inspire this greater New Zealand, wouldn't he? What an amazing man. Now look, I can go on talking about New Zealanders and how good they are, etc., but let's be serious for a minute. Australians and New Zealanders are great mates. They're like siblings, they fight a bit, they have each other on. Look at that great spirit of Anzac at Gallipoli. And look at Simpson and his donkey. I mean, he saved Australians, New Zealanders, and even a few Poms, didn't he? Took them on his donkey. What about that donkey? That donkey had a big heart, didn't he? He was from the green fields of Manawatu in New Zealand. Rumour has it that when that donkey was a young, amorous donkey, someone left the paddock gate open. And he went way over to the far paddock near the racecourse and had his way with a few young mares. Rumour has it that is the descendant line to that famous New Zealand horse, Farlap. Like I said, you don't believe much of what I'm saying here, but what about the boats? Now, the boats around Australia, we don't seem to be able to keep them away. Maybe we should invite them, I don't know. But New Zealand, how many boats have we had in New Zealand recently that haven't been invited? 0. That's because we used the Maori solution. What is the Maori solution? You stop the first boat. So the Maoris were on the shore and they saw Captain Cook's boat, the Endeavour, on the horizon heading toward New Zealand. What did they do? They sent out a meet and greet party in their canoes. They came out waving their meres and saying this beautiful welcoming song. Kamate, kamate. What happened? Cook turned around. He went faster than any sailing ship of the day. His sailors were blowing into their sails just to go as far as he could away. That is the solution, ladies and gentlemen. The Maori solution. Now, there's a very contentious issue here, and I feel like I'll bring it up. Who invented the pavlova? Well, that was Anna Pavlova. Anna Pavlova was a famous Russian dancer, and she toured in the late 20s, Australia and New Zealand. She stayed at a hotel in Wellington, New Zealand, and the cook at the hotel was so entranced by her beautiful dancing, he went to visit her after the show. You're seen coming away with a package. That night he made this beautiful dessert with the white symbolised with cream, and the green roses were kiwi fruit. And he developed that pavlova, a very, very famous New Zealand dish. So we have a dish related to this great New Zealand country. The trouble is, Anna had to go to a dry cleaners and get it cleaned before she could do her show the next night. What would we call this amazing country? What would we call ourselves? Aussies. Aussies. We have solved the problem. We are all Aussies.